Welcome to another edition of Building Peace in the Pandemic, during the pandemic. And this week, we're really happy to host Birgit Gerstenberg, who's the resident coordinator of the United Nations system in El Salvador. And we are today going to ask her a few questions about, Birgit, the impact of the pandemic on the efforts on peace building, rule of law, especially given, the growing portfolio of the UN country team in this area. What has been the impact of the pandemic on those efforts, on the government's efforts as well, at building peace in El Salvador?
The high inequalities and gaps in social protection are there. They are not overcome, and especially women have been severely affected through the domestic violence, as well as income loss, burden of housework and care responsibilities, which really has an impact also in the public life of the people. And then also migrants and displaced populations, which have been constant during the last 30 years since the peace agreements have been celebrated, which are also really harshly impacted with the crisis of COVID. So also the factor of general human insecurity as a combination of violence and crime during COVID-19 was for us a factor that we see negatively impacting a peace-building process. As current and the second layer of factors which are fomented by the pandemic itself, was that we have witnessed a new government with just a few months in function and tensions about several matters with the Legislative Assembly, also with the Supreme Court of Justice and its constitutional chamber. So that brought also human rights issues to the table.
How has those peace building programs that the country team was supporting the government with changed? Certainly, we've seen a greater attention, for example, on protection of women. Have you had any other programmatic shifts, and how do you expect your work to change now in El Salvador?
What we really did, we have reoriented funding and activities in all all the range of activities we are doing, not only peace building, but everything else what we do. And we adopted a diverse range of measures to keep advancing in our projects at national and territorial level. So some of the field work was still done, and with all biosafety measures and through partners, through local partners on the ground. I think that was one of the most important changes. Also formulated a socio-economic response plan. So we really tried, in the logic of the triple nexus between development, peace building, and humanitarian efforts, we really tried to explore that dimension of our work. Our projects, at least 25% of them have been reoriented to COVID adapted formats to work. No?
Just looking forward in the years to come, do you see, there's some important events coming up? The bicentennial of the independence of El Salvador is coming up. There's going to be elections next year. Do you see any opportunities or new areas of work that have opened up thanks to the pandemic and to the hardships that it has imposed on Salvadorians?
We have brought a presence of mandates in El Salvador, and consolidating our contribution to the country is an important point. No? Also, the electoral process in February 2021 could help to balance the relationship between powers and among other actors at the national and local scene, to also to shift to new dialogues, to more participation, hopefully, as well as to try out the prevention of conflict and try out new forms of getting together among different stakeholders, for example, with the private sector, with new parts of the organized civil society. I think one of the big challenges and opportunities is to rediscover in this government the potential of civil society and other actors within the society.
Wonderful to listen to you. A lot of very worrying trends, but also some hopeful areas that could be taken advantage of by El Salvador. So thank you so much, Birgit. A real pleasure to speak with you today, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Marc-André.